story surrounding the way these people are connected. It involves a business, a nonprofit, a monumental mom, and a former student. Victor Biggs and his wife Bridget Jobson of Exclusively Real Estate pouring into the Epic Foundation, donating a check for $20,000 to the nonprofit. The reason?
Well, I think it was the personality of the leader, to be quite frank. And it's not just the work that Epic does, it's quite frankly the heart that the leader has. And we just tapped into, AJ Donaldson's leadership. We want to see lives change, and we are seeing lives change when we see the testimonials coming in from Epic. We really would love to have a long-term relationship with Epic and helping them move their vision forward. More importantly, we want to see as many students as possible achieve their purpose. There's so much talent out there that's underutilized, and we certainly are committed to making sure that we can be a part of helping others reach their destiny and be a better contributor to society.
EPIC stands for Experienced Professionals Impacting Communities, a seed that was first planted by AJ Donaldson's mother.
First and foremost, this was inspired by my mother. This is a passion project that turned into a life calling and purpose. She was a community leader by way of music education. She provided access to those who couldn't afford it. So a lot of that understanding of entrepreneurship came from my mother. Single family home, Opalaka. Grew up in church, spare the rod, spoil the child, was very prevalent in my home.
While at this junior achievement event, AJ met Trayvon Walters and discovered the two had this in common.
I got familiar with the Epic Foundation is that I was doing a summer program with my friends, getting different certifications and things like that, first aid and so on and so forth. And then on the last day of the graduation, AJ was there. And then, people started talking, get out cards, get to know names and things like that. That's how we got connected eventually, because his mother was my old music teacher. And essentially, he was telling me her health wasn't doing the best, so I went to go visit her in, some of her last moments on this earth. And, my mother was also responsible for her rehabilitation care when she was in the hospital. My father did various work on her house as I was a child and, to this present day. And then, AJ's been taking me on the joyride ever since then, honestly.
A joyride indeed. AJ inviting Trayvon to this golf tournament where he was awarded the prize for the 50-50 raffle. And then by building relationships, gained access to an engineering internship.
This is a brilliant young man who has an extremely bright future, and we want to ensure that nothing knocks him off of that trajectory. That's why Epic comes in to stand in the gap. What does the world look like if we can actually ensure that every child, no matter what their socioeconomic background is supported from cradle to career by way of scholarships, the money, the resources, mentorship, the time in investing and pouring these lives, and the magic of career pathways, which, as we're here on camera, we have our photographer that's right behind the camera over here, who is actually one of our students from way, way back at DCS. Right. A completely different definition of DCS. Savannah Sanchez. Savannah was actually a part of our tutoring program at that school before Epic even existed. And it was dynamics of saying households that may not be able to afford a tutoring rate, we can still provide access. Savannah, what was that experience for you like at that point?
Yeah, so pretty much when I needed help in 9th grade with math, I was struggling. I had always had good grades, but I didn't connect with my teacher. He just taught differently, and I felt stuck, and I knew I couldn't afford tutoring. My family couldn't afford it, and then I'm not even sure how we connected. I'm not gonna lie. I think just word spread that there's this guy who helps people out. And my mom was like, let's give it a shot. And he did a group tutoring. So me and 3 of my friends, we did group tutoring to lower the rate. Yep. And I passed. So thank God. And that experience was really impactful because I knew I didn't have the funds. My family couldn't afford it. So I was like, well, I'm going to fail math. But it just gave me that extra boost so I could pass the class. Right. So it was awesome.
The Epic Foundation is not only about mentorship, but collaboration.
Everybody seems to have a foundation today. You have a foundation, you have a foundation, you have a foundation. But we find that a lot of these foundations are competing over the same resources, which dilutes our missions and keeps us from actually making dents in some of these social issues that we have. Don't get me started right now, because the dynamics of why Epic is here, we're here to be able to bring everybody together, because it's not a cliche saying just to say that we're stronger together. It is true. If we organize and say, what is your niche? What do you do best? Why is it that you're having to be redundant in this space for these specific initiatives? We don't have to be. We come together, we align in the specific areas that we're gifted and we're called to be, and then imagine this massive ecosystem of incredibly heart-centered organizations that are doing the right things for the right reasons. Epic.
Exclusively Real Estate is a great partner for the Epic Foundation because of its unique experience with nonprofits.
Right now, we not only do residential real estate, but we also do corporate real estate with the niche because of Victor's expertise and his background helping in the nonprofit arena. We've evolved to have just a special niche on our commercial side where we just help nonprofits find solutions for their organizations. It's a very special niche because not everybody understands how a nonprofit works and the needs that they have that is separate from regular corporations. You're dealing with a board, you're dealing with approvals that are not necessarily on a regular corporate end, and having that particular niche, knowing how to deal with nonprofits, knowing based on the locations that we find, what the variance is that needs to be with the city and the local governments and the zoning and everything that goes into that. We have that knowledge base that really helps them. And so that's a really large part of our business.
Being able to identify good-hearted souls that believe in your organization, but then also not just coming with our hands out, right, and begging bread in that respect. If we are in a position to also support them so that their businesses grow, what does that look like? How much more would an organization like Exclusively Real Estate, be able to do for the community if we're also helping you? And we have certain access that we want to allow and provide as not just a thank you, but intentionality behind growing business driven by community. That's the point.